Request a standing ovation, please. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Good evening to all. A warm welcome to you all for the interaction session with our Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman. Without any further delay, I would like to call upon Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, to kindly adorn the dais, please. Request CS B. Narasimhan, President of ICSI, CMA Ashwin Dalwadi, President of ICMAI, CS Pradeep Kulkarni, Chairman SIRC of ICSI, CS Venkata Subbarao, Chairman Bangalore Chapter of ICSI, CMA Devarajulu, Chairman Bangalore Chapter of ICMAI, to kindly accompany the Minister on the dais. Thank you. I would now request CS Venkata Subbarao, Chairman of Bangalore Chapter, to kindly provide the welcome address.
Ellargu namaskara. Very good evening to everyone. Coming together is beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of ICSI Bangalore Chapter and ICMI Bangalore Chapter to this interaction program. It's my honor to welcome all the dignitaries on the dais, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Honorable Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, CS Narasimhan B., President ICSI, CMA Ashwin G. Dalwadi, President ICMI, CS Pradeep B. Kulkarni, Chairman ICSI SIRC, CMA Ramaskanda, co-opted member, CMA Devarajulu B., Chairman ICMI Bangalore Chapter, CS Vishwas Hegde, Secretary ICSI Bangalore Chapter, CMA Abhijit S. Jain, Secretary ICMA Bangalore Chapter, Office Bearers of Bangalore Chapter and of ICSI and ICMI. I recognize the presence of CS Nagendra Rao sir, past President ICSI, Gopalakrishna Hegde sir, past Central Council member, BB Nayak, VP ICMI, all our esteemed members from ICSI and ICMI, students and all other who are present here today. I now request CS Narasimhan sir to present a planter as a token of our welcome to Honorable Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman. Let's have a big round of applause. Efficiency is doing better than what is already being done. India emerges as a global economic powerhouse with record-breaking exports, FDI inflows, and job creation. With fiscal reforms, digital advancements, economic resilience, India is challenging global economy, driving prosperity and innovation worldwide. India has become global economic powerhouse since 2014 to 2024. I would like to mention few achievements. India ranks first in the world in production of milk. India ranks second largest phone production across globe. India ranks third largest fintech economy in the world. India ranks fourth highest stock market capitalization. India ranks fifth largest economy in the world. India ranks world's fastest growing economy in 2024. We have few more. Highest ever exports in financial year 2023 amounts to 776 billions in USD. Over 3 lakhs startups registered. GST collections 1.87 crores in April 2023. And highest ever FDI inflows 85 billions in USD 2021-22. Ma'am, we congratulate you on your ministry and government for making this great achievement. Ma'am, you have achieved two rare milestones: India's first full-time female finance minister, and became only the second finance minister in the country to have presented the union budget for 6 consecutive years after Morarji Desai. With this small brief, I take this opportunity to thank once again Honorable Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, for accepting our request to interact with the members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, CS Venkat Subbarao. Now I would like to call upon CS Pradeep Kulkarni, Chairman SIRC, to kindly give opening remarks.
Honorable Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman ji, our President B. Narasimhan sir, ICSI, Ashwin Dalwadi sir, President CMA Institute, all other dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, very good evening to one and all, and I welcome you all for this interaction program with Honorable Nirmala Sitharaman ma'am. A strong woman stands up for herself. A stronger woman stands up for everybody else. Our Honorable Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman madam stood for all the Indians and steering our nation in the direction of financial development. As our chairman told, she is the first full-time finance minister of India. Can I request you all to give her one more big round of applause for that? As we gather here today, we are presented with a unique opportunity to engage in insightful discussion with Honorable Nirmala Sitharaman madam, exchange ideas and gain valuable perspectives on economic landscape of our nation. Without further ado, let us extend a warm welcome once again to Nirmala Sitharaman madam and express our gratitude for her presence here today. We all members of Institute of Company Secretaries and CMA, I would request on their behalf as well, ma'am, we assure you we will join our hands in our nation building process and making our Bharat from developing country to a developed country in the days to come. Let us all have more words of wisdom from madam here. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, CS Pradeep B. Kulkarni. Now I would like to request CMA Ashwin Dalwadi, President of ICMAI, to kindly deliver presidential address.
Honorable Nirmala Sitharaman ji, CS President Narasimhan ji, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, my colleagues, CS and CMA professionals, it is my pleasure to be with you at this evening. I would like to tell few words, very few things about the institute, our institute, that there are around 1 lakh qualified CMS all across India, and some of them are residing at outside countries also. We have 5 lakh students. We have 116 chapters all across India and 11 overseas centers. I'm not going into the further details, but I tell you two interesting statistics I would like to share with you. That is, in our institute, our members' gender diversity, which was there in 2012-13, 70 to 30. and in 2023-24, it has reached to 52 to 48. So it's a, because madam is there, so we know the contribution by female members is really equally important, and we are progressing in that direction also. Another interesting point is reach to unreached, because our government is trying to reach to the farthest corner of the India. Our members, students' location is in terms of pin codes. There, it is 94% is covered, and cities covered are 94%. So we are still making it to reach to the 100%. Madam, far-reaching policies of this government, and particularly under your leadership, have structured in strengthening our country's wealth and positioning in the world. There is no iota of doubt that we are going to achieve the noble goal of becoming number 3rd largest economy in the world very soon. The tone set by yourself, your good self, at Atma Chintan Sibir at Kevadia Colony, that is my home state also, has brought out a clear vision of our government. Incidentally, the zero-based budgeting, as recommended by you, is ab initio the analysis of all the value-adding activities and non-value-adding activities, and this is the core strength of our CMA members also. Madam, the as management accountant, we feel that what can't be measured can't be controlled, and we also are extremely thankful to you for constituting a high power committee to look into the areas of infrastructure costing, areas where government is providing subsidies, grant in different forms, and from different schemes, through different schemes. We are sure that the report will give a comprehensive guidelines, and approach paper will emerge from this report, and we assure you the optimum utilization of resources through our members. At this juncture, I would like to share with you very small thing. Our commitment from our institute towards the goal of the government's vision. To follow the government vision, our institute has decided to have April and May 24 as a months for Viksit Bharat 2047, and in the last week of June 2024, on 28th and 29th, we will have a national convention on the theme Viksit Bharat 2047, synergizing catalyst for the Sankalp to Siddhi. We extend our invitation to join you at this national convention. We assure you, on behalf of the institute and my council members and all CMA members, assure you our best support in the nation building exercises. Thank you.
Thank you, CS Ashwin Dalwadi ji. Now I would like to request CS B. Narasimhan, President of ICSI, to kindly deliver presidential address.
Good evening. Respected Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Honorable Union Finance Minister for Finance and Corporate Affairs. My counterpart with the ICMA, Mr. Ashwin Dalmadi, other dignitaries on the dais. Ma'am, we are all eagerly waiting to hear you. But before that, let me also pay my bit in terms of what I need to say. Ma'am, I recall vividly your talk on the 55th Foundation Day which was held in Delhi on the 4th of October, when you were the guest of honor on that day, and your address about the role a company secretary plays for the upliftment of the profession itself, and also in terms of ensuring the corporates are complying with the regular regulations, and the importance CS plays in that. Well, I also need to, at this point, thank you for your involvement in terms of getting the solution for the V3, which was plaguing the members quite a bit. I sincerely thank you for that, ma'am. And thanks to that, the situation has been reasonably eased, and we do face odd problems, but I think that's getting resolved. The first is, let me tell the roadmap which we have for ensuring the targets of the government are being achieved. Ease of doing business, that was the motto. And I think the MCA had sounded us, all the three institutes, to work on this, and the rules, especially relating to Companies Act and other laws, the regulations, we worked on it, and we were the first institute, I take great pride in saying that, to submit our recommendations to the ministry on the 26th of February, which was the target date. And more importantly, we are following it up with presentation to the ministry officials in terms of the changes, why they were warranted, and why the changes were suggested by us, and all of them aimed at ease of doing business. Ma'am, we were just about a 1 trillion economy 10 years back, less than 1 trillion if I may say so, and we have achieved now literally close to 4 trillion, and the aim of the government was to reach 5 trillion by 2025. Because of COVID, that may not be achievable, but then we are not too far off from what we want to achieve. And let me tell you, this 4 times growth in the last 10 years is highly remarkable, and it would not have been possible but for the effort which all the ministries have been putting into this. Soon enough, we are also looking at, and we have reached from the 10th largest economy to the 5th largest economy. And soon, we are also looking at reaching the 3rd largest economy, reaching the 10 trillion mark by 2030. Ma'am, and all this, when you look at it, the most critical need would be of professionals, and we are gearing up to that in terms of having adequate number of professionals to serve this commitment of the government. The government is also aiming at being the Viksit Bharat in terms of #1 economy in the world by 2047, a noble gesture, I should say. When you aim, you always aim high, and I'm sure this would all be achievable, and definitely we are working towards that. Currently, our members are much smaller than the other two professional, I can say that, just about 70,000 odd, and the student population is just about 2 lakhs. But I can tell you with certain reasonable amount of assurance that once all this whatever achievement needs to be looked at is possible only only with the help of the capital market. And when we talk about capital market, the first professional comes to the mind of anybody is the company secretary. And therefore, we are looking at literally doubling the number of company secretaries by the year 2047 and to 1 lakh by 2030 to achieve the requirement of company secretaries in the world. The only way to achieve the impossible is to believe it is possible, and I'm sure all of us are working only towards that. Well, ma'am, I don't want to take much more of your time. We are already working on this and several others, and in fact, we are also associated with SEBI in terms of working out the changes in the regulation for the purpose of ease of doing business, and we have achieved quite a bit, and we are expecting soon the concept paper will be put up by SEBI for public comments, and where a substantial amount of contribution has come from our team who have been associated with the groups. Thanks a lot for this opportunity which has been given to me, and we'll all look forward to hearing your words of wisdom, and wherever you need us, You can tell us, we already have the numbers before you, 4 lakhs students plus 2 lakh members, 1 lakh members to 70,000 plus 2 lakh students. We are with you and we will get to do whatever you want us to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, CS B. Narasimhan, President of ICSI. Now it's time to hear it from you, Madam. I would like to request you to kindly come over and deliver the address, please.
Good evening to the office bearers of both the institutes, and also for the august presence of all the invited guests and the members of these associations. I'm glad to be sharing some of my thoughts briefly, and also post that an interaction, I guess, with you on issues on which you would want to engage. It is true that the Honourable Prime Minister has set a target for India to become Vikasit by 2047, which means that India would be as developed as many of the countries to which many of our young go for better opportunities, better education, better qualification, better rewarding jobs, and also better contribution towards the world, humanity at large, and particularly looking at countries like India. But opportunities need not be there, especially when we have the demographic dividend. And even as it is, in the last 10 years, many of those prerequisites which make a country developed are the issues on which Prime Minister has been giving attention and the government has been working towards. It is a sea change between what we inherited in 2013-14, in 14 in particular, to what where we have reached and where we have reached today. Just to recall and to reiterate the point that development doesn't happen by default. Development does not happen without effort. And that effort, the people of India have always wanted to put, and they are putting it. But when leadership is not able to grapple with the largeness of issue, with a visionary perspective, and when leadership fails to match up with the expectations of the people, growth can always be stunted. Growth can always probably stagnate. And even worse, growth can remain in such order that it can contribute to backward growing or negative growth. And this is not something I'm putting in terms of words, but I'd like to bring to your notice, which I'm sure you're already aware of, because this is election season. You have every narrative coming onto the public domain, sometimes even confusing us, all of us as citizens, wondering where the fact lies. But when the figures come out and when the actual contributors speak about it, you know where the truth lies. So on this growth element alone, and how lack of leadership can make it remain stagnant, is something where I would like to spend a minute on, to contrast between what was the situation of India in 2004 when Vajpayee-led government was voted out. The economy had registered more than 8% full year growth in the year 2003-04. Average inflation for the fiscal year 2004 was under 4%. Gross NPAs in public sector banks had become half of what it was 5 years before that. focus on capital expenditure and infrastructure expenditure had led to Golden Quadrilateral and also PM Gram Sadak Yojana connecting all the rural areas of India. Foreign exchange reserves were healthy. When I say healthy, they were good enough to take care of 17 months of imports. And this is till the end of March 2004. 17 months of imports till the end of March 2004. We had enough reserves to take care of 17 months. Whereas what is inherited by Prime Minister Modi in 2014, GDP growth was less than 5% for 2 consecutive years, which is 2012-13 and 13-14. India averaged double-digit inflation from 2009 to 2014. Corporate investment had slumped. Inspector Raj, red tapeism, tax terrorism were all the ingredients to what became a fragile 5 economy. Investment in infrastructure had collapsed so much due to the policy paralysis. Capital expenditure, and I give you the number here, capital expenditure as a percentage of the total expenditure literally halved under UPA rule. It had fallen to 16% in 2013-14 from 31% in 2003-4. Pace of highway construction fell to a third, while Vajpayee-led NDA government added 24,000 kilometers of national highway in 5 years. That is an average of about 4,800 kilometers per year. UPA added only about 16,000 kilometers in 10 years. Naturally, you can calculate for yourself 1,600 kilometers per year. Indiscriminate lending by banks resulted in a huge NPA crisis when Prime Minister Modi took over in 2014. It didn't just affect the banks, the companies' balance sheets were also in severe distress. Pervasive corruption and scams had completely hollowed out the exchequer and brought disrepute and also total distress in the governance mechanisms. Fiscal and revenue deficits were spiraling completely out of control. Foreign exchange reserves had plunged, and there was a fear that we might reach the pre-1991 situation. So that was 10 years of UPA rule. The reason why I'm saying this, we are at a time when, as citizens of this country, particularly company secretaries who look after the health of companies, chartered accountants, management accountants, and eminent citizens of this country who have a thought leader's role in the society, we need to underline the fact, even when we have small informal discussions among friends and family, that growth is not guaranteed. It's not going to happen by default. You are now 5th from 10th, you'll automatically reach the 3rd. So what is the need for a Prime Minister like Modi? Is a conversational point which the opposition wants to set as a narrative for this election. I completely like to destroy that narrative. You saw the data, what was inherited in 2004. You're seeing the data, what we inherited in 2014. It's a thorough mismanagement of the economy. In those 10 years, India went backwards, if I can say, by that entire decade, the dark decade. And today, where we have reached the 5th largest economies position. And with confidence where we are able to say that we might reach the third within the next few years. We need political stability. We need clear vision. We need intensive action in every aspect of the economy. Or else we run the risk of having another decade or 5 years of red tapeism, corruption, policy paralysis, and as a result of all that, the problems in your foreign exchange management, in your fiscal deficit, in the way in which balance sheets of companies and banks can go down the drain. We can't afford that. India has come out of a big malaise. And today we have reached a stage purely because of the majority that this government has been blessed with by the people of India. And we are blessed with the leadership which understands that nation is important, not my family, not my dynasty, not my party. And at this stage when the world is looking at us, envying almost, I don't want to use the word envy, but looking at us with surprise as to how India has managed to reach here. And during a very trying period, when countries were desperate to have vaccines, India produces its own vaccine. We also got the right to manufacture vaccines produced elsewhere. And as a result, we were able to give all our citizens at least one dose. Some took second, some took a third. That kind of a scaling up much before the world could even get one round. And all for free. Every citizen took it out without any cost. So I would like to just leave this thought. There are many more things I can add. But I think because there's also an interaction, I won't take too much time for the monologue. I think the most important message is, like the way you nurture company and their health, nurturing India's economy is what Prime Minister Modi has put on the top of the agenda. We need to support him. We need to support a government which has that clarity that country is important. We need to take it up and take it up without any whiff of corruption. Complete transparency. Try as much as they have. The opposition is not able to find one element of corruption or crony or any kind of faulty decision by this government. And therefore, without getting into more and more details of many things have been already said by the earlier speakers. We are first in this, we are first in that, we may reach first position sooner. All those are very worthy, valid instances of how Indian entrepreneurs, Indian farmers, Indian animal husbandry people, Indian horticulturists, Indian manufacturers, Indian defense component manufacturers, Indian exporters are all doing very well. We need good, stable government for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the encouraging words, madam. Moving ahead, I would like to request the moderators for interactive session, C.S. Venkata Subbarao ji and CMA Ramaskandaji ji, to kindly come over and handle the interactive session, please.
Yes. I would like to thank on behalf of ICSI and ICMAI for giving us this wonderful opportunity to interact with you, and we are so grateful, ma'am. Indeed, we thank the ministry for so many reforms, especially in corporate laws and tax laws. In corporate law matters, decriminalization of Companies Act 2013, introduction of goods and service tax, introduction of insolvency and bankruptcy code, and introduction of concept of registered valuers and social auditors. In this era of global turmoil, raging wars and economic slowdowns globally, India has stood outstandingly well. We admire your meticulous planning in keeping India first and progressive with growth-oriented policies and leading our Indian economy. And India has become a global economic powerhouse. Our first question is, what are the initiatives proposed to be implemented towards Viksit Bharat 2047 in forthcoming term?
Well, I think the manifesto of BJP NDA clearly says about how we want to progress in terms of addressing every section of the economy. And in that, making sure systems become simple. We did speak about the way in which compliances will have to be simplified for companies. MSME definition, and also as a result, in fact, that was one of the data which I would have loved to give you as to what is the progress in the MSMEs from small to medium, from micro to small. The growth is distinctly, obviously seen. The numbers are very, very impressive. Those who have moved to become small from micro and those who have moved from micro to medium, from small to medium. These are enabled because we made the compliances simple, the ability for them to obtain bank credit simpler, and making sure that rules which apply to these companies are very flexible. And so, understanding the requirement of MSMEs, progress is made for them to run their businesses successfully. I've taken this as an example. But that is how we want to bring compliances down. You know, I don't need to repeat the statistics. More than 1,500 outdated laws were removed. More than 40,000 compliances which were with penal provisions and also which had severe penalties have all been brought down and diluted so that omissions while doing business are not taken as a malified omission. So we are looking at these. Other than that, of course, reform is not a static one-point agenda. It has to continuously keep abreast of the expectations of business and economy as we move, the decision-making process, the transparency elements, and how self-certification is one thing which this government values. Prime Minister Modi's first one decision was post having taken a decision on forming SIT against black money. One of the earliest decisions that he took was to make sure that we trust business and have them certify themselves rather than send teams and teams of inspectors who are then going to start rent seeking in that process. So these are continuous work. We'll keep doing that.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, my second question is, how do you look at China plus or China slowdown, and what are the growth opportunities and challenges for India?
I would first of all appeal to you to have them kept in two different buckets. China's growth or China's slowing down, one bucket. India's opportunities, India's challenges, another bucket. China's growth or China's slowing down may give us opportunity globally or within India, which is very well. That is going to be a reactive process, but I would think India has today reached itself in such a prime position. It's primed itself, whether it is looking at the human resources or looking at policy stability or making environment conducive for investment, FDI policies, and so on. So India, for its own sake, the world is looking at us because you get everything in one place and in an open democracy. It has its challenges. Businesses want quick resolution of disputes. They want quick redressal through courts. Also, they want very simple, straightforward compliance procedures. They want speedy decision making. On these things, we'll have to work. But India today stands really on its own in terms of very good, well-developed equity market, very good, deep, and also developing bond market, a very robust stock market. And as a result, there is this feeling that India today is primed to receive investments. In fact, as I was coming from Delhi today in Bangalore, next to me was seated one young man who hails from Uttarakhand but who has business interests in Bangalore. He was openly telling me, and he deals with a lot of these companies from abroad who come and set up business here. He enables them, facilitates them, even as he's running his own business. He said his father is also in freight forwarding business. He says both my father and myself feel there's just such a lot of demand for India that he is unable to take it. Earlier there was a day he would have, few years ago, wanted to have at least one offer come in a year. Today he says there are at least 15 offers and he alone and his company alone cannot handle it. His competition are feeling the same. Each one is now seeing an abundance of requests coming, and it is an opportunity. It's a golden opportunity for us to believe in ourselves. And sorry to make my answer longer,
No issues.
but we are today seeing, on the one hand, where Prime Minister Modi and our government wants Indians to have that opportunity, and on their effort, on their entrepreneurship, we are confident we can achieve the third largest economy position, and even push further to say, right, by 2047, we can see our children living in a developed country. On the other hand, we have a narrative of naysaying. Oh no, India is not doing well. Oh no, India has this problem. Oh no, India has, hatred. India has this, India has that. India doesn't have freedom of speech. Every fellow who says that is freely loitering around. But he'll still say there is no freedom of speech. So
Yes.
we have a lot of people who, I don't know where it comes from, who have a quality to undermine our own country, undermine our own people, and constantly, like in Mahabharata, Shalya, who's with Karna, undermines his self-confidence. He says, hey, Karna, you can't do a damn. No, I'm your Rathasarathi, but I'm sorry, that is all you are. You have, I'm sorry to say, most opposition parties, sheer hatred for the Prime Minister because he's delivering on promises. Go about talking as though, oh, India can't do, Indians can't do. Please at least respect the Indian people's performance. That's where we are in India today.
Yes. Ma'am, since you have mentioned a quick resolution process, if you come to insolvency and bankruptcy court, there is a delay in resolution process. Is it time to relook at the entire framework, and when we can expect individual insolvency implementation under IBC 2016?
First of all, I don't think the IBC is at fault at all. In fact, I'm glad that every time cases have been taken to the Supreme Court has actually upheld the legislative intent and the robustness of the IBC itself. It is founded very legally, absolutely sound. So as a result, the IBC doesn't have an issue. It can, of course, even in the first few years, I myself have gone up bringing in amendments to one or two features. I've answered questions from the opposition who said, you brought this law only now, you want to also do an amendment sooner, what is all this? It is a question of keeping the law robust and respond to the market and also to the companies. But I'm not denying that there is a delay. And that is not because of the law, it is more because we need to have more people appointed in time to the NCLT. We need to have more resolution professionals who are up to the job. There are quite a lot of good resolution professionals, no doubt. But we need a lot more of them because we have to clear it up faster. And ultimately, the struggle in IBC, as different from the struggle under SARFAC or struggle under debt resolution, the struggle is you want the company to be a going concern. It's easy to give a solution after liquidating it. Or if you want to liquidate it, you probably get a quick resolution. The beauty of IBC is not to liquidate as much as you can, not at all. Idea is to sell it as a going concern. And that is where the struggle gets a bit more difficult and challenging. So these are reasons for it, but not any other.
When we can expect individual insolvency
Let's see.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
already pointing out IBC shortcomings.
Yes. Ma'am, one more question. A draft values bill 2020 has been drafted to establish National Institute of Valuers on basis of recommendation by Committee of Experts constituted by MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, to examine the need of institutional framework when it will come to the implementation of the draft valuers bill?
It has to be once analyzed, and after that, of course, we'll have a consultation process also. So without taking you on board, we are not going to move. Not
Thank you,
going
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Because the time pass, I'll restrict myself to one question. Madam, you got an value and show the economic positivity on many dimensions like labor cost, asset utilization, and value realization. This is especially true in service sector, mainly healthcare sector and education. We work with the government in projecting the true Indian position in the global economic scenario by providing these analysis. ESG is an area which requires a lot of work on all levels among corporate, government, and profession. As a management accountant, we contribute positively by way of cost and benefit evaluation and achieving a significant advantage. And my question is, as India moves towards Vikasit Bharat, what role do you see from management accountant profession, and what all should the institute focus on to contribute towards building the nation?
In describing your role, you yourself have said how you're looking at assessing the cost-benefit analysis and also looking at evaluations and so on. India still has a large part of its economy in the informal sector. The reason why many of them have still not progressed to becoming formal is also because it is burdensome for them, and probably they don't have the skill sets to understand what the evaluation will be like. If constantly they are able to understand that the evaluation is improving because of the market condition or situation prevailing, they will also be tempted to become a lot more formal. I would think building awareness about companies which are still not even listed or which probably have questions about the evaluation, you can play a very big role, particularly today in the digital environment, without making much of an investment or assessment about how things are outside. The digital entry itself gives you a good view, world view of what is the market like, what are the other peers doing in the group, and so on. In fact, I would think more than the chartered accountants or the cost accountants. It'll be you who will have to tell these to companies to evaluate themselves and look at the cost benefit of remaining where they are or moving to become more formal. Remaining where they are and not able to reap the benefit of the growing expansive market, and highlighting why they should, if they move at all, what is the benefit they are waiting to reap. It is your role which is going to make India and its economy grow faster by making many of them who are in the informal to move towards the formal.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, CS Venkat Subbarao and CMA N. Ramaskanda, co-opted member, Member Facility Center, ICMAI. With your permission, can we take 2 questions from audience, madam? Any questions from audience?
Hi ma'am, good evening. Myself Purnima, I am a practicing CMA from Bangalore. Mine is not a question, rather a request. First of all, on behalf of CMA fraternity, I thank you for including cost accountants for valuation of inventory in income tax law. Now I understand that direct tax code is going to be implemented. So, and in the income tax law, as of now, only chartered accountants are included in the definition of accountants. So in the new DTC, kindly include cost accountants also in the definition of accountants so that we have a level playing field. That is my request.
Good evening, madam. My name is Ravi Shankar. I am both a company secretary and a cost accountant. My question is regarding, in 2016, this demonetization was brought in. One of the objectives, and it was also followed up with a lot of digitization in the economy by ensure that black money comes down a lot. But now, in the election period itself, we see a lot of black money floating around and all that. Is it because, what was the problem for this one that actually you are the best for that?
If I have an answer straight away to you, or if I have an answer which I can speak so openly, I'll really be happy. But no, I can't.
Thanks, madam.
Madam, a quick question. What are your thoughts on starting an international financial service center in the southern region? There's already one functioning in Gujarat. So that will, International Financial Services Center. So there's already one in high-tech city, Gujarat. So what about starting one in the southern region so that capital markets can be deepened?
Who starts it?
The government, of course.
Which government?
So
That was started by Gujarat government.
no, it has to be an interaction push from the center.
It starts from the state. And then every law which has been passed under the IFSC, let me just explain the title of that law. It is International Financial Services Centers. Welcome to have any number. And the same law will benefit every center which comes up. But at the moment, there is one in Gujarat, which was started by the Chief Minister, the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, who's now the Prime Minister of the country. Oh, I've given a message, I think. I'm not good at it. I give long answers.
Last question, please. Last question.
Namaste, madam. My name is Kamlakar. I'm a practicing cost accountant. Governments are major consumer of goods and services. Major GST collection comes from government consumption alone. Government means government undertaking, government authorities, and state governments everywhere. Now there is a news that in awarding government contract, there's a kickbacks. It is from 40 to 80% depending upon different stages. My suggestions are, in case of awarding government contract, the contractor has to maintain that operation in a specified bank account from which there should not be any withdrawal of cash. This should be applied to subcontractor also. And second thing, and wherever there is a government contract completion, the contractor has to upload that element of his cost in quantity wise and value wise at the end of the day, and compare with the tender document so that public can have that data. In case of supply of goods, they have to upload the gross profit ratio in the government portal, so that let me understand what is the GP they are having, how that the funds are utilized, and how that funds coming from the contract are utilized in the different cost segment. I want to know this.
Now, are you talking about the central government or state government?
Both the governments, madam.
Aren't the contracts which are with the central government put out in the website already? Much before they open, soon after they open, and as they progress, it's all up there.
Yes, at the end of the contract period, they have to upload the actual position, and especially in the state government contracts.
No. About state government, you're all voters here. Talk to your government.
Good evening, madam.
About central government, I can say, whether it's government's own purchase or government own contract, or government is tendering out for laying a road or whatever, it's all completely online. Everybody can see it every minute. So that is why I asked you, who are you talking about? If it's state government, you're the voters. Talk to your state government.
Thank you.
Prime
Thank you,
Minister
madam.
Modi doesn't do that.
One last opportunity, please. Recently, Ram Lalla was installed. Congratulations. And your name is also that. My name is Jairam. Only one small dream I have, I don't know. I have been telling our brothers in my profession. See, suppose anybody is having a defect, he will go to a doctor. Similarly, in case there is any secretarial matter is there, would it be possible to make a law that they go to a company secretary first, so that our profession grows better?
I just want to be curious. You said your numbers. There was a time when in Northeast, even without us making anything compulsory, many industry association people who met me told me there aren't enough cost accountants, company secretaries coming to the Northeast. I take your advice because you are also one Ram, I am also one Ram. After Ram Pran Pratishtha, I'll have to take your word and make it compulsory.
No, making practice, madam, not
No,
employment.
that is fine. I'm just giving you a practical issue. If you're not willing to go to the Northeast, and Northeast doesn't have enough of them already among themselves, we would have created a new problem where one doesn't exist. In the long run, as you grow, we can always look at that option. But presently, there are difficulties of supply demand in terms of, professionals who are available.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, madam. Now it's time to felicitate madam. Madam, we humbly submit, we would like to felicitate on behalf of Bangalore chapter of ICSI, ICMAI and CASI. We'll take only 3 minutes, ma'am. I would like to request Chairman CMA Bangalore chapter of CMA Devarajulu to kindly come over and hand over the memento to madam. Request both the presidents to kindly support Mr. Devarajulu. Thank you. Now I would like to request CMA Abhijit S. Jain, Secretary, Bangalore chapter of ICMAI, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India and the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Union Finance Minister and Corporate Affairs Minister, Government of India, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman Madam, for her insightful remarks and the time she graciously devoted to our event today and truly enriched the gathering here. I would also like to thank the presidents of both the institutes, the Institute of Cost Accountants of India and the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, CMA Ashwin G. Dalwadi and CS B. Narasimhan sir. I would like to thank the chairman of Bangalore chapter of both the institutes of ICSI and ICMI, CMA, Devrajulu B and CS Venkata Subbarao Kalwa. I would like to thank the Secretary of Bangalore chapter of ICSI, CS Vishwas Hegde, Chairman SIRC of ICSI, CS Pradeep B. Kulkarni, CMA N. Ramaskanda, co-opted member, Members Facility Committee of ICMI. I would like to also extend my heartfelt thanks to all the senior members of both the institutes and the representatives from the council and the regional council of both the institutes present over here in today's event. I would also like to thank our esteemed participants. Your active participation has truly enriched this program and contributed to its success. Your engagement and enthusiasm has been inspiring. As premier professional bodies, both institutes are committed to fostering excellence and advancing the fields of company secretarialship and cost and management accountancy. Once again, we express a sincere appreciation to everyone involved, and we look forward to continuing this collaborative journey and knowledge exchange and growth. Thank you once again to all of you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. I would request all of you to rise up for the national anthem, please. Jana Gana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya He,
Jana Gana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya He, Bharat Bhagya Vidhata, Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha, Dravida Utkala Vanga, Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga, Uchala Jaladhi Taranga. तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे, भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे, जय हे, जय हे, जय 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 हे।
Jai. Thank you, everyone.
Request Shri M.G. Rajgopal, VP Kasia, to kindly hand over the bouquet to Madam.
Dear participants, once again a good evening. We request all you to please pick up your high tea, which has been arranged in the pantry area, and disperse for the day. Thank you. Thanks once again.
Thank you.